San Francisco has long been home to champions across many sports. This includes water polo. Tonight, in the city by the bay, we turn our attention to Post Street. The Olympic Club has assembled the water polo world to honor the 6 best athletes in the college game. Up next, we present the Peter J. Cutino Award. Water polo is the intersection of teamwork and individual excellence. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and all-out strength in an improvised battle of can you top this? By the way, nobody can touch the bottom. It challenges you to keep your head above water while you yourself make it rain. Tonight, we honor 6 players who quite literally changed the game. These athletes exceed expectations on every rep, every sprint, and every play. They raise the tide and turn it on their opponents. After an amazing season of men's and women's collegiate water polo, these 6 finalists vie for the nation's top honor. Who will take home the Peter J. Cutino Award? Hi everyone, welcome here to the Olympic Club in San Francisco. We're so excited to join you tonight on Overnight for our annual presentation of the Peter J. Cutino Awards. As you heard at the top, this is water polo's version of the Heisman Trophy. It honors the best in the college game. We are so excited to have 5 of the 6 finalists in the room. We'll hear from them. We'll hear from all 6. Tilly Kearns, who couldn't be here, we chatted with her earlier in the week. We'll catch up with her as well. So there's a lot to get to here tonight. We also have a special guest. The official hype man of USA Water Polo, Flavor Flav, is in the building. We will talk with him as well. What we're going to have here for this program, it's a little bit like the red carpet at the Grammys or the Academy Awards. We're going to have people kind of come and go. We'll take you inside the room when the program starts. Our MC, Chris Storrs, the 1984 Olympian with Team USA, he'll be our master of ceremonies, taking us through the entire event, who wins, hearing from those finalists on stage, and then we'll also talk with the winners afterwards. So again, a jam-packed night, a lot of great interviews. We get things started though. We welcome in the new CEO, although not that new anymore, a couple of months on the job, Jamie Davis. Jamie, thanks for being here.
I thought I was the hype man, so now I guess I have a new title.
We have to get you a microphone and a clock, apparently.
Exactly, yeah.
You have obviously immersed yourself in this water polo world. You come over from USA Volleyball, so you know the Olympic space, the national governing body space. What's it been like to go feet first into water polo?
It's actually been fantastic. As you mentioned, I've been in the Olympic movement for quite a while. I was 8 years as the CEO of USA Volleyball, but was new to the water polo sport. And so what I really did when I first came in was try to reach out to the community, reach out to the clubs, reach out to the coaches, reach out to the athletes, reach out to the parents, and just to try and learn about what's working and what's not working. And the one thing I want to say is this community has been so welcoming and so open to be willing to share what's going on that it's really energized me and helped me come up with the team, including you,
Yep.
of about a whole bunch of ideas that we can do to really try and do things to even bring the sport to a new level.
Events like tonight, great community event for the water polo world. Your first time to the Cutino Awards. We talked a bit about some of the finalists there at the top. 3 Team USA athletes. I know you were in Paris last summer. How special is it for USA Water Polo, where you can have athletes from anywhere play in the college ranks, to have 3 finalists?
Greg, what you're saying is absolutely true. It's unbelievable, frankly speaking, that when you have 3 of 6 finalists coming from the United States, when the pool is a large pool of candidates, it's just really exciting. And that they were all just competing here in Paris as well, and are all, I think it's just so exciting for the whole program.
Yeah, 3 Olympians that competed in Paris last year. They all have bright futures for Team USA. Also Max Miller from USC. And then, as we mentioned, Tilly Kearns training with Team Australia, not able to be here. And then Mihailo Vukovic, also the star from Pacific. So a lot to accomplish, a lot on the way here when we look at where we're at. We're in June. It's the start of the summer season. What has you excited over the next few months at USA Water Polo?
I think there's 2 things that have me really excited. Obviously, in my first year, so everything's new. But there's 2 main pillars that are coming up right now, and they're at the peril and they're actually also at the same time. One is, of course, World Championships. We're at the beginning of a brand new quad, and it's the Los Angeles quad. So we're all very excited about having a first home games, almost like once in a generation that something like this happens in our country. And we're at the first competition of this quad. And so it's going to be really exciting to watch our men and women compete at World Championships this summer in Singapore, to see how this first group is going to start as we're marching towards the LA quad. But in parallel with that, it's JOs, and it's the grassroots, because that's actually, that with the ODP, the Olympic Development Program, is our pipeline to those eventual Olympians. And so to see all of that in action as well, I mean, it's the largest water polo palooza that's going to take place, and to see all that at the time is what's got me really excited this summer.
Yeah, more than 10,000 athletes, 12 days of competition, the Junior Olympics coming to, of course, Southern California and Texas, so we're looking forward to that. Before we let you go, we know the event's going to get started here pretty soon. We joked at the top about you being the hype man. The official hype man, Flavor Flav, is here, but in general, Olympic sports like water polo, why is it so important that folks that have influence use that for sports like water polo to help get the word out?
You know, every sport that's not men's basketball, men's football, maybe now women's basketball is getting a little bit, but there's very few sports that actually just have this national following. And so it's so important for the people who love these sports and are so passionate about the sports to get behind them and to collaborate. And that's what I really want to do. I want to reach out to these communities and say, how do we collaborate? How do we work together? Because I know you love it, I know we love it, and together, if we both love it and we work together, we can bring this up. And I know it's doable, but it takes an army to do it. And we're not the biggest sport in the planet, but I would say we're perhaps the most passionate.
Yeah, that has been proven true time and time again. We'll see it again here tonight at the Cutino Awards. Jamie Davis, CEO, USA Water Polo, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Craig.
Awesome. All right, Jamie joining us here at the Cutino Awards. Let's now take a quick time out. We'll come back with more. We're going to talk with finalists, and then we're getting ready to pass it off to Chris Storrs to get our event started here inside the room where it happens, the Olympic Club in San Francisco. It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide, and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more. It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide, and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more. Hey, welcome back here at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Greg Meskel joining you. Thanks again for USA Water Polo CEO Jamie Davis stopping by. Just the first of many guests that we'll talk with here throughout the evening. Again, right behind us here, this is the room where it goes down. So eventually Olympian Chris Dorst will take the stage and we'll get our program started. But in the meantime, let's tell you a bit about how the Cutino Award works. Again, we always tell you each year, it's like the Heisman or the Hobie Baker, the other awards you might be familiar with. Here's the voting process. Division I coaches only. You only vote for the gender that you coach. So in some instances, a coach does coach both men and women, but in other cases, let's take USC for example, Casey Moon coaches the women, but Marco Pintaric coaches the men. They stick to voting for those genders, and then past recipients have a vote. They just vote once though, so someone like Nikolaos Papanikolaou does not get a 3x vote, the winner of the last 3 men's Cutino Awards. And there's a look at how this all breaks down. Similar awards as we mentioned. The Mac Herman Trophy in soccer, the Naismith Award there in basketball. This is where the Cutino Award is. One of the reasons we do this program is because those awards are often sometimes better known than the Cutino Award. It's important to elevate water polo's College Player of the Year to that very same level so that there's the same amount of notoriety. We mentioned some of the past winners. Papanikolaou, the beast for Cal, 3 wins in a row. I don't know if anyone's going to stop Tony Azevedo. 4 in a row at Stanford. Now we have some freshmen that are up for the award here tonight, so I guess anything is possible, right? Someone like Emily Osmus is a finalist tonight. Ryder Dodd is a finalist. I guess if it starts here tonight, they could be the next Tony Azevedo. As we go through the rest of the past winners here, there does tend to be a theme. When you get a true superstar in the game, they can start to rack up the wins. And maybe it's not always 4 in a row, but J-Dub, 2 in a row, Balash, 2 in a row, right? You kind of get the idea where this is going here. On the men's side, Luca Cupido, the Olympian, he helped that Cal team to a national championship before he was all done. Nicholas Savlich, Ben Halleck, now a couple of Team USA guys. They're along with Luca and then Papa. How many college teams outside of Cal are so pumped that guy finally graduated and went on to play national team ball with the Greeks? On the women's side, Bernice Orwig, the first ever woman to win. Bernice the Furnace, the Olympic silver medalist. How about this list? You know we're getting old here because a lot of these folks now are established head coaches. Coralie Simmons, an excellent coach at Cal. Natalie Golden, now Natalie Benson, head coach for Fresno State. Lauren Wenger there in the mix. Cammie Craig, back-to-back winner. And then Stanford. You'll recall, starting in about 2011, Stanford just took a complete stranglehold there of the game for a while, and their players won the Cutino Award over and over again. That's a ridiculous run. Kylie Neuschel, the oldest Neuschel, she won back in 2015. The youngest Neuschel is here tonight, Ryan Neuschel. She's a finalist here yet again. Of course, COVID lost a year in 2020. Just saw Mackenzie Fisher out in the lobby. She's a 2-time winner from the Stanford Cardinal, Ashley Johnson, of course, from Princeton, and there's a look at some of our big winners. Let's talk about All-Americans from the college game. So the Association of Collegiate Water Polo Coaches, they do a great job helping to recognize the sport, elevate the sport with a weekly top 20 poll, not just at the D1 level, but the D3 level. They also oversee the Player of the Year, the Coach of the Year, and the All-American honors. It isn't written in stone, but it often works out that the ACWPC Player of the Year is also the Cutino Award winner. Will it happen this year? Don't know. But let's take a look back at some of the big recipients of the ACWPC honors for the 24 men's and 25 women's season.
To be an All-American is to wear a badge of honor. It is a distinction bestowed to the select few who rise to the summit of our sport. It's reserved for the outstanding, and it's a recognition that will follow the recipient for the rest of their days. This past season saw a renewal of the excellence that exemplifies the sport of water polo. Squads on the eastern seaboard made their mark.
Back at the top, a little drive, the dish, Provenziani. Wouldn't be long before the freshman from Rome chimes in.
Olympians brought their successes back to the States.
USC, they have this dynamic 1-2 punch. Osmus, the newcomer, Kearns, the veteran, they're fun to watch.
And one athlete reminded us just how many goals an individual can score.
Ryder Dodd, now 102 goals. That's a Bruin record in MPSF play.
We saw the remarkable, and that standard had been set by the water poloist who authored this incredible year. We start with the men. First team All-Americans from Division III include athletes representing Augustana, Chapman, and Pomona-Pitzer. The list also features 2 from Claremont Mudd Scripps and 3 from the Redlands National Championship squad. In Division II, we'll find the 2 prolific scorers from Salem. You'll recall the Salem Tigers took on UCLA in the first round of the 2024 NCAA tournament. In Division I, we have the heavy hitters, including the Dodd brothers, who play their water polo in Westwood. That UCLA team took home their 13th national championship with a win over USC back in December. And these were the ACWPC Players of the Year, with Ryder Dodd taking home the hardware in Division I. In women's water polo, half of our Division III All-Americans hail from Pomona-Pitzer. The Sage Hens completed a 4-peat as D3 champs this May. In Division II, 6 different schools are represented, including athletes from Azusa Pacific, Biola, and CSU Monterey. McKendree sent 3 to the first team, including lights-out goalkeeper Sidney Kane. National champions make up half of the first team All-Americans in Division I. Stanford defeated USC to take home their 3rd title in the past 4 seasons. Goalkeeper Christine Carpenter was named MVP of the all-tournament team, finishing with 9 saves in goal. And here are the ACWPC Players of the Year, with Ryan Nuschler earning Division I honors. And just to point it out, all of the 2025 Cutino Award finalists have earned All-America honors this season. The Association of Collegiate Water Polo Coaches is proud to steward this grand tradition. The organization stands united in its efforts to recognize elite play at all levels. Their oversight of the All-American honors reflects their commitment to advancing the sport of water polo and providing support to its coaches and athletes.
And we're back here at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Show getting started here soon. You can see the room is filled up a bit behind us, but we've got one of our 6 finalists joining us here right now on our set. Emily Osmus, Riverside, is in the building.
Yes.
From USC. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
What a season for you. I joke with you that Emily Osmus is awesome, but it was an awesome season. 114 goals. You don't even really know that number. That's how many goals you've scored. How do you describe this freshman season and the way that you fit in with the Trojans?
Yeah, I think it was so special just coming into a new environment and coming into college, something that's new and exciting, and I really took that energy and just flowed it throughout all season, and my teammates were there for me, setting me up, and vice versa, so that was just really exciting.
The NCAA championship, it had all the emotions, right? The highs of that semifinal and then the lows of the final. What do you take away from that event that you'll try and use for next season?
Yeah, I take away the lesson of having a season under my belt, obviously, knowing the USC, how we like to play, and just going through adversity. A lot of us at USC had finals during that time. I personally had 3 finals for the weekend, but just knowing that we can do hard things, kind of like what Pat and Maddie love to say,
Sure.
but just going through adversity and taking that and knowing that the next time we're there, it's just a bit more familiar, and hopefully we'll be able to get the job done.
That semifinal game, though, against UCLA is a special result. To be down, and I talked to Tilly Kearns earlier in the week and said, wow, you don't see a team run off 7 goals in a row like that, the way you all did it. She said, except they did it to us
Yes.
a couple of weeks earlier, so it kind of
Yes.
does happen sometimes. But how do you explain the way you all fought back in that semifinal?
I think you can see it when we play together. It's just a special connection that we have, and the Trojan family is really a real thing. And just that connection that we have with each other, we know we're going to get out of whatever it is, whether it's 7 goals down, 10 goals down. I know that the person to my left and to my right has my back, and we really focus on building that connection this season with each other, and you can see it in that game and in a multitude of our games. So I'm just really proud of that effort.
Now, no time to rest. You literally were at practice this morning in Southern California and
Yes.
flew up here. You get back in the pool with Team USA. Is that a good thing coming off of a tough loss in Indianapolis? Was it helpful to go right back to it with Team USA?
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons, but I always like to focus on the pros, and if you focus on the good things, you're always going to be excited and ready to play. So, going to practice this morning, I was excited, and just being able to be here tonight with all these amazing people and my family is so special. But yeah, it's definitely one after another, but that's what's so exciting, is that you're changing environments, changing teams, and the people that I was playing against this season I get to play with. So that's really exciting, not having to battle against them anymore, but battle with them. And yeah, so I'm just super excited for this summer.
Big summer for Team USA. You've got Spain coming in a couple of weeks for 2 games in Southern California. Tickets are on sale, by the way. And then off to Singapore for the World Championships. What did you learn from Paris that you'll try and use this summer?
Yeah, I think just having confidence in my play and just going for it. I think that's one lesson that I learned from Paris, and just in general as I grow as a water polo player throughout the years. But just having confidence and trusting in my teammates and trusting our coaches and our preparation is a big thing, and just having fun ultimately. This is a game, and just going back to my roots.
Now, we don't know who won, but we know you're a finalist, if nothing else. Have you thought about what it would mean to win the award? How special is it for you and your family and your team just to be a finalist?
Yeah, it's super special just to be a finalist and being one of the 3 amazing athletes out of the hundreds of athletes that are in the pool. And I just think it's so special and such a cool event to be able to be here and represent USC and also my family. But yeah, it's such a cool event and also just a cool accolade, but also at the same time, these athletes, Tilly and Ryan, are such great athletes, but they're also great people. So it's nice to be around them, just be surrounded by their love. And I've been on both teams with them, so
Yeah.
it's really nice to full circle moment.
So no matter what, someone you care about is winning tonight.
Yes, exactly.
Now, last thing for you, we talked at the top about you being from Riverside. Water polo is big in Southern California, but sometimes the IE doesn't get the love it deserves.
Yes.
What does it mean to you to represent that part of SoCal and to be a standout player from Riverside?
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, a lot of athletes that don't really come from the IE, and to just represent and be one of those athletes that little girls can look up to who are from around the area is so special, and something that I take a lot of pride in, and am so humbled to be in this position. And yeah, I'm just super excited. I love Riverside. That's where me and my family are from, where we live, and just such a special area.
Very cool. Emily Osmus, thanks for being here. Good luck tonight, and we'll see you soon with Team USA.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, we'll take another timeout. More to come here from the Olympic Club. It's the Peter J. Cutino Awards. It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters.
The 26th annual Peter J. Cutino Awards banquet. 26 years. What a wonderful, wonderful time. My name's Chris Dorst. I'll be your host this evening. We've got a lot of very, very important people we need to recognize and important things to do. But I just have to tell you from a personal standpoint, this is the best event in all of water polo in the United States, bar none. You've got people coming from all over the country. You've got people coming from collegiate ranks, from masters, well, okay, a few more masters people than the collegiate ranks. You've got people from high schools, age groups. You've got even referees we have here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just a wonderful, wonderful time to celebrate the sport. This is indeed a celebration. A list of the past Cutino Award winners is in your dinner program there, as is a list of the previous speakers. You can't find a better who's who of water polo for the last 30 years than the list of folks on those things. So please take a good look at that. I personally would very much like to thank the Olympic Club, Nick Luson, their athletic director, Whitney Hughes, who basically makes everything work, and the Cutino Award Board of Trustees. They're going to be lauded appropriately later on, but I just want to tell you, these people work hard, and this event not only is a great event, it gets better from year to year, but it's very important. You need to be able to look back, you need to be able to celebrate, and ain't nothing like a Cutino Award celebration, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for being here. What a year it's been. I tell you, the UCLA men winning the NCAA championships last December, I think, beating USC 11-8 in the national title game. Stanford's women winning their 10th NCAA championship this spring, defeating USC. If I remember correctly, Stanford's the only program that's been to every single women's NCAA championship. Is that right, Susan? Okay, well, it's in your handwriting. I'm just calling it one. On the international front, the U.S. men's Olympic team in 2024, ladies and gentlemen, won a bronze medal. Let's give it up for them. They start a 3-game series with Australia tomorrow, so you see 4 or 5 people are going to be dashing out of here after their 3rd or 4th cocktail later on to catch a plane to get back down south. U.S. women will be hosting Spain for a couple of games at the end of this month in Southern California as well. I think, like me, you are wondering, why the heck can't they play games in Northern California? I don't know. Jamie, we're going to have a conversation about this. Both teams will be gearing up for the World Championships in a water polo hotbed, Singapore. So that'll be later on this fall. But not to be outdone, I have it right here on good authority that the Olympic Club women's team got first place in the American League, first place in the 35 plus in Arizona, second place in the Open in Arizona. Has nothing to do with that table is filled with people who play on the team. Second place in the Spin Lob Classic, and the 20s, 30s, and 40s for the first time are all heading to the Masters Nationals next weekend. Just as you wrote it, okay? So, again, and the Olympic Club Men's Open team got a second place in the National League with a big semifinal win over the LA Athletic Club. The best team money cannot buy. It doesn't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, It's my pleasure to introduce the president of the Olympic Club of San Francisco, Malia Lyle. Malia?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Malia Lyle, and on behalf of our entire board, including my fellow directors joining us this evening, including Molly Hellerman, Renee Baker, Mike Souza, and our two very own collegiate water polo players representing Bucknell University, Peter Mertz, and UCLA, Kelly Hall, welcome to the Olympic Club. We are delighted to have you here. Special welcome to our guests of honor and our special guest, Flava Flav. As many of you know, water polo has had a long and proud history at the Olympic Club, dating back to the 1890s, just a few short years after we opened the natatorium in 1883. Over the years, we've had the privilege of sending several outstanding athletes to the Olympic Games, including George Schroth, George Mitchell, Arthur Ginger Austin, and Elmer Collett, who were all part of the U.S. team that over 100 years ago, in 1924, earned a bronze medal under the leadership of the legendary Johnny Weissmuller, otherwise known as Tarzan. Just last year, we were proud to cheer on Olympic Club members Luca Capito, Ben Halleck, Johnny Hooper, Drew Holland, and Dylan Woodhead to win bronze in Paris. Last year, during a board meeting in Monterey, we had the chance to dine at the long-standing Sardine Factory in downtown Carmel. We were pleasantly surprised when our waiter told us that the owner would be stopping by our table to say hello. When he arrived, the chef greeted us warmly and shared a heartfelt story about how much the Olympic Club meant to him and his family. The chef and owner, Bert, who stands about 5'6", and like many great chefs, looks like he enjoys the food that he prepares, is none other than the brother of legendary Peter Cutino. He affectionately joked that he and Pete were the real-life version of the movie Twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Thank you all for being here to support and celebrate these incredible athletes. Please enjoy your evening. It is now my great pleasure to turn it over to our wonderful athletic director, Mr. Nick Luson.
Thank you, Malia. Again, welcome to the Olympic Club. It's always a privilege and an honor for us to be able to host these awards. It's a special night for us all, everyone that gets to be a part of it. There are a few more people that I would like to recognize that have played integral parts in putting on this evening. First, our partners with USA Water Polo. I want to give a really strong shout out to Greg Meskel and Jake Mader for their tireless work putting it together. So let's clap it up for the hardest working men in the business. I do want to also, again, recognize the person behind the scenes, sending all of the emails, organizing the votes, coordinating flights, putting on this evening. Honestly, it's a gift for me to have people of this quality working with me in my department. It makes my life infinitely better and easier. So again, thank you to Whitney Hughes for her great work. I'll keep my comments short. I'm an outsider to the community of water polo that I've slowly been learning and getting to know over the past several years. It's been a really interesting journey. I've been struck not just by the quality of the athletes who are amazing, not just by the community of the athletes, which is also amazing. It's this fun reunion to get to kind of watch and be a part of every year. The thing that has really started to stand out in my conversations with players and coaches and those that have been a part of this sport over the years is there's a very clear sense of duty to the sport itself that transcends individual glory, team glory. I've noticed that as I've talked to many of you, there's this sense of wanting to build the sport and strengthen the sport. And I think that's very beautiful. That's a real testament to the community you have, the legacy that's passed on generation to generation. And so perhaps a challenge to our youngest water polo players that are being honored this evening to carry on that tradition and do better by the sport, help build the sport in the years to come for the generations behind you. So again, congratulations to our finalists this evening. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Chris Dorst. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to honor the best collegiate water polo players in the country, but first we've got some very, very important people that we have to recognize. Unfortunately, there are no members of the first family of water polo, the Cutino family. Anna's usually sitting right down here, but her husband came down sick. They weren't able to make it up from the Monterey area, so let's keep him in our prayers and expect to have her at her customary seat in the front table at next year's event. But it is my privilege to introduce a man who literally came up with the idea for the Cutino Award, one of the original Cutino Award trustees, Mr. Bennett Indart. Bennett said 2 words to me before coming up. He said, "Whatever you do, don't call me out." You're welcome. It's also a sincere pleasure to welcome the CEO of USA Water Polo here, Mr. Jamie Davis. Jamie, thank you. And I was told that we had a member of the USA Water Polo Hall of Fame in here, Mr. Brett Bernard. Is Brett here? Brett kicked me out of any number of games. He was a wonderful referee. Also, the man who will be anchoring tonight's broadcast, the hardest working man in show business, ladies and gentlemen, Greg Meskel. And finally, I don't know about you, but I don't know that there's any other sport out there, collegiate, professional, age group, that has their own hype man. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Cutino Award history, we have USA Water Polo's hype man, Flavor Flav. I just can't wait to share the microphone with him. Okay. Typically, we have multiple generations of Olympians with us, ladies and gentlemen. As I read off their names in alphabetical order, I prefer that they stay standing as we read them off. And if you could withhold your applause until the very end, that would be great. Emily Osmus, 2024. Emily, will you stand up, please? Ryder Dodd, 2024. Ryder? Ryan Neuschel, 2024. Ryan came with her own cheering squad. Jenna Flynn, 2024. Dylan Woodhead, 2020 and 2024. Stay standing, please, folks. Stay standing. Drew Holland, 2020, 2024. Where's Drew? Mackenzie Fisher, 2016, 2020. Jamie Neuschel, 2020. Jamie. Margie Dingledine Vartanian is here. There's a rumor there was Brett Ormsby in the house. Brett, are you here? Wonderful. Thank you for 2004. Adam Wright, 2004, 2008. Adam, you get to stand. I'm sorry, Chase, your name wasn't on. Chase Dodd, ladies and gentlemen, 2024. And then myself, 1980 and 84. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for standing. Now, one of the long-standing... Thanks, Mom. One of the classic Cutino Award traditions is we always miss somebody on that Olympic list. Is there somebody who was an Olympian in any sport who just happens to be here who didn't let us know beforehand? What sport? Swimming? Women's figure skating, that's good. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Unfortunately, folks, in the last year, we lost a number of folks who were very, very close to us, members of the water polo family. One of the things that makes this so compelling is that water polo is a family. I call your attention to the screens where we're going to have a brief memorial.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Time can bring you down, time can bend your knee. Time can break your heart, have you begging please, begging please.
If you could all join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The keynote speaker and the presentation of awards will happen after dinner. Bon appetit.
It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters.
There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more.
Welcome back. The Olympic Club here in San Francisco. Greg Meskel here with you. Thanks to Chris Storch for getting us started. As you can see by everyone behind us, dinner has begun, but our show rolls along. We'll talk with a whole host of guests here for the next hour or so until we find out who our winners are. We'll also have a keynote address from Olympian Dylan Woodhead, a bronze medalist. But before all that, we got the official hype man for USA Water Polo, the Hall of Famer, the Grammy Award winner, Flavor Flav is in the house.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg.
What's good, man? How are you?
Oh, man, like a coat in the closet, man. Hanging in there, man. Just taking it one day at a time, man, and just enjoying this fantastic journey, man. This trip.
So the excitement that you helped create. Tell me about what you thought getting involved in water polo might be like versus what it's actually been like. I'm sure you had an idea, right? Like, I'm going to try this, and then it became something totally different.
Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, I didn't really know what to expect of it because this is something I've never done in my life. I just expected to have a lot of fun with this, you know what I'm saying, and to bring a lot of positivity to the table. You know what I'm saying? So it's been great, you know. It's been a great journey for me. You know, me sponsoring the water polo team is giving me crazy recognition everywhere I go, Greg. Everywhere I go, I got people's grandmothers coming up to me. Flav, thank you for what you're doing for the water polo team. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, but you know, a lot of people are, you know, giving me praise, you know, for supporting women's sports, you know what I'm saying? So, and now I really see how important women's sports are, period. You know, and how it wasn't really being paid attention to that much.
Yeah.
Now people are starting to pay attention to it a lot more.
When you come to an event, you came to the premiere in Newport Beach, you come to
Yes.
a water polo match, you go to Paris, you come here.
Yes.
People are so excited to talk to you and to, like you said, celebrate your support. What does that feel like for you?
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you the truth, Greg. I feel like I'm on top of the world right now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm in a real good position to help a lot of these Olympians out. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by helping them out is to give them that extra energy, to give them that extra push to do even better than what they do now.
As you've gotten involved in this, you know, good things lead to good things, right? So
Yes.
as you've gotten involved in this, other things have come up. I feel like you've been embraced by so many other athletes, other events. How do you describe the 8 or 10 months after Paris when all the other things started to show up because of the way you showed up for water polo?
I only got one word for that: phenomenal. Phenomenal, Greg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I see that there was a lot of people paying attention, you know, because I'm getting praised by all kinds of people that I didn't even think would be into water polo or would be in the sports, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So by me getting the praises and the thanks from all of these people, I mean, it's really a big honor, man. It's really a big honor, and I don't take none of it for granted. You know what I'm saying? I just take it like it's a water polo ball, and I try to score with it.
So we're now into what we would call like the next quadrennial, like the lead up to LA 2028. So you had all the fun in Paris. What's next? How do you help these teams on the road to Los Angeles 2028?
Well, the only way that I can help, that I feel like that I can help, is as long as they stay in the game and don't give up on the game. as long as they stay in the game, then I can be around to try to hype them up and give them that extra boost, give them that extra push. Just like I tried to do with the girls, this year, when trying to push the girls to win that 4th gold medal.
Yep.
And I really wanted the girls to get that 4th medal so bad. I tried, the girls tried. So we both did good jobs at trying, you know what I'm saying? And I can't help it, but I gotta keep saying, I'm just so proud of my girls, because even though they didn't win the 4th gold medal, but they did win 4th place, which is huge. That's big, you know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm just gonna be around to try to keep hyping up the water polo team as much as I can to win these gold medals. I think there's other people that should come in like me, you know, and help sponsor some of these teams. Some of these teams need sponsors, you know what I'm saying? And right now, I got bragging rights because I'm the only sponsor that the Olympics got right now.
Yeah. Outside of water polo, afterwards, you would do things to help people here and there. Someone needed help with their college tuition. Someone was needing help for a GoFundMe. What makes you want to jump in? You don't know these people. What makes you want to jump in and use your platform to try and help someone out?
Well, one thing you got to be able to do, Greg, is you got to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. You know what I'm saying? And I know what it feels like to want recognition for all of the hard work that I put in. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like wanting to be part of something, but yet there's something that's holding me back, like paying my rent, for instance. You know what I'm saying? And I know what it's like knowing that if you don't participate, then you're gonna lose. I know what it feels like to lose, you know, and if these are not good feelings. And the people that's playing these sports right now, I want to see them succeed, just like the way I wanted to succeed. You know, everybody wants to succeed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can help somebody go that extra inch to the mile, why not? Because at the end, it will all pay off. Whether they lose, whether they win or lose, it's still going to all pay off. You know, I believe in chance. Just give me a chance, please. Just give me a chance, and I can prove myself. So that's the way that these people are feeling, and that's why I step in and I support and I try to help them out. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants a chance, and everybody wants to feel what it feels like getting a chance.
You got totally. Anyone, whether you're music, sports, you can relate to wanting a chance and then hoping someone might help you get a chance.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
Right.
You got a jam-packed summer. You got the chicken tender game on lockdown right now. You're going back out on tour with Public Enemy. It's a good time to be Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
Tell me about the summer tour and what has you excited about going out with Guns N' Roses.
Well, let me tell you like this, Greg, because it's been a while since Public Enemy toured. And me and my partner, Chuck D, we've been doing gigs here and there, but they've been so spread out, you know, spread it so far apart, you know? But this time we're going actually out on tour now. And not only that, but with Guns N' Roses, I'm bugged out. Hey, it still hasn't sank in yet.
Yeah.
It still hasn't sank in yet. You know what I'm saying? I know Slash.
Yeah.
And I've just recently met Axl Rose. And I've always been a big fan of Guns N' Roses. But I never ever would think that Public Enemy would be going out on a tour with Guns N' Roses. I mean, we know Aerosmith crossed over with Run DMC.
Walk This Way.
Walk This Way, you know what I'm saying? We know that, okay, you take the group, I'm having a brain fart right now.
I remember when Linkin Park and Jay-Z crossed
That's
over.
right, Linkin Park and Jay-Z crossed. and then we crossed over with Anthrax. Bring the noise. That's right. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me compare it to sports, because this is a sports audience, right? So you said that the shows you guys do currently, every now and again, I think a water polo player would tell you they're probably better if they did 10 or 12 games in a row. That 10th game, they're probably pretty good. They're like warmed up, they're in a rhythm. Is it the same for Public Enemy? When you get to go on tour and you have, let's say, 20 shows over 2 months, by the time you guys get to 14 and 15, is it like locked in?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Oh man, it feels like can't nobody stop us.
Yeah.
That's the way it feels. We feel unstoppable. You know, the more you get into it and the more you do it, the more accustomed you get to it, and the better you become at it.
There are guys here that play Masters water polo, which means they're experienced, right? Maybe they played in college 40 years ago, but they still play today. They don't have to see each other for 2 years. They can get in the pool, and it's like they never left. Is that how you and Chuck D are? You guys can not perform, and then you get right back to it?
Yeah, that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we get together after not seeing each other after a while, we pick up where we left off. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
The most successful people so often reinvent themselves over time, right?
Yeah.
Look at your career, right? Musician, reality TV, commercials, now sports. What has made you kind of always search for the new thing while keeping the old thing?
Well, I'm always up to doing new things. I love doing new things, you know what I'm saying, in the whole nine. And, you know, reality TV, been there, done that. I know what it's like. Getting out on stage, performing as Public Enemy. I know what that I know what that feels like. Now I'm into sports.
Yeah.
It's a brand new feeling to me, and it's a great new feeling to me. I like it. So, from the bottom of my heart, Greg, I really want to thank you for even allowing me to be able to be a sponsor for an Olympic team. Period. Water polo, one of the most least paid attention to sports.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. And I want to also thank my boy Spike Lee, who came to support me over in Paris, and one other incredible phenomenon from Guy Fieri. Come on, man.
From right here in the Bay Area.
Guy Fieri, man. And he came out to help support me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, over at the water polo team. And also, my boy Casey Wasserman.
Yep.
You know, Casey Wasserman, he came to support me. So I just want to thank all of them, you know, for coming out to support me. You know what I'm saying? And also, being at the water polo game, I got to experience one of the most crazy experiences. I got to meet the First Lady of the United States, Greg.
Yep.
Come on. That's big to me.
Yeah, that's huge.
That lady, I ain't had no idea Dr. Joe Biden knew who I was. And she wanted to meet me. Come on, man. That's huge right there.
That's the stuff that sports can bring that you wouldn't think it could.
Yeah, man. I met Dr. Joe Biden, and I mean, it was so epic. Then I got to be a guest at the White House, all because of that.
Wow.
All because of that, I got to be a guest at the White House. And not only that, but I even got to take my kids bowling at the White House.
Nice, nice.
On the president's personal bowling lane. Come on, man. Dr. Jill Biden, I love you just like you love me. I love you too, Dr. Jill. Word up.
Flav, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for supporting water
polo. Thank you for having me, Greg.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you, Greg, honestly, I would not be sitting in this chair talking to you. So I want to thank you, man, 10 times over, bro.
Happy to do it. Happy to do it.
I really mean that, Greg. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Of course.
Greg.
Thanks for being here. We're going to see a lot more of you. Good luck on tour. And we'll be seeing you at the water polo pool soon.
This is the man with the master plan.
Operation.
Yeah, boy.
Operation No Doubt, as my man says, continues. We'll take a timeout and return to San Francisco after this. It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide, and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more. It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide, and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more. All right, we're back. Very casual nature here of the Cutino Awards. It's like the red carpet at the Grammys or the Academy Awards. Greg Mescler with you. We keep it going with one of our finalists from USC. Max Miller is here. Max, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Max, this is like medium Max beard. I'm used to like the guy with the big beard down to 2 meters. Are you like one of these guys that can like grow a beard overnight?
I shave one day and then it's just fully back the next day. Exactly.
I feel that's like some of the old NBA teams have like their shaved head for the playoffs. I feel like you late in the postseason was like the beard, like this guy's looking mean. Awesome season to finish your career. Tell me about this last year with the men of Troy and what it meant for you and what you think went right for you in the water.
This one was a lot of fun. I think the biggest thing is that our team really just came together this year, and like we were just best friends. We went through a whole lot in summer and throughout the season and off season as well, and I think that just made us a lot closer as a team and just closer as people out of the water too. So
you look at your progression, and we talked about this, or we will in the finalist video when it comes up, but there's a guy here as a freshman, Ryder Dodd, right? You didn't get here as a freshman or a sophomore, right? And that's no knock, but I want to ask you about your progression, right? You look at your stats, your playing time, the whole thing just went up every single year. What was that growth like? Was there a moment where you had to find another level? How did you progress from freshman Max to being in this room?
I think that coming from high school to college obviously is a huge jump, but I knew like within me I had the potential to keep growing and keep like getting better and honing my skills, and I think just patience. I had a great upperclassmen mentoring. You know, my coaches were amazing. I was very lucky with who kind of brought me up, and I think that at USC it was just a very nurturing, great environment to learn in. So, and yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see a freshman here like Ryder Dodd. I mean, he killed it this season. I think that's really awesome to see a freshman here.
I always love to ask this question, especially when people have had the kind of progression that you have, but was there a point in your career where you felt like you had kind of figured it out a bit, like you were hitting on all cylinders? Is there a game or a time over the last maybe couple of seasons where you're like, I kind of get it now and I'm imposing my will as opposed to trying to figure it out?
Yeah, I think probably my junior year was when I really felt like I was hitting my stride. I think every year for me there would be like a game here, a game there, but it never was enough for what I had envisioned for myself and what I could do to help out our team. And so I think junior year was really where I hit that and was very confident in how I was playing.
Tell me about being a back to the basket 2-meter guy and just the physical nature of that and how you kind of keep your cool in those situations. But then you brought a lot of versatility too. You could step out and hit from 5-6 meters. How do you blend all those things together?
I mean, that's just my ego. I love playing on the outside, and it's a lot of fun to shoot on the guys in practice. And I'm always trying to like get the goalies one-on-one and practice my outside shot. But I love the work on the inside. Like that's my favorite part. Just pushing against someone, grinding like that. But it's always fun to get a nice shot from the outside.
When you're in at 2 meters and a pass comes in and you're getting crushed and you're not getting a call you wish you got, how do you stay composed?
I just think that it's kind of my mentality through college, but in a shorter mind frame is just keep on pushing. You know, I don't usually look at the refs to blame them because a lot of the time if I don't get a call, I just in my head I didn't do enough. So just kind of keep my head down. That's always kind of how I've been, is not really reacting to much of like the outside factors that I can't control, but what I can do is get back on defense and help out my team. So I think that was kind of my mentality through it all.
What's next for you?
Right now I'm enjoying some relaxation, and I'm enjoying being home for a little bit. I'm going to go travel, and we'll figure out the rest from there.
I heard from your dad before your graduation, told me this great story, this lineage of the USC gown, is it? That has been to what, like over 100 years of graduations. Tell me a bit about this and how it found its way to you.
Yeah, so I believe 1916 was our first graduation from USC, so I'm a 5th generation. I'm super proud. It was a lot of fun to wear that same gown that was worn in 1916 for graduation. It definitely has some tears in it. It's got some history in it for sure. But it was awesome. They have the list of all the names on it too, stitched in for everyone that's graduated, and I'm super proud to be a part of that.
Who's the keeper of the gown? How does it get from one family member to the next?
So my grandma, Janet Tonkovich, she loves SC. She went to SC. She fights on every day. Huge into like the history and connecting our family with other relatives and all of that. So she, I believe, has held on to it the most, and it was great to get it from her. That was a lot of fun.
Very, very cool moment there to kind of bring the whole family generations together. You mentioned being a 5th generation. Was there any situation in which you weren't going to USC?
There was no situation. I obviously wanted to look at my options, but deep down I grew up going to all the football games. We would tailgate before and have a lot of good family time there, and I think I always knew I wanted to go to USC. I wanted to be a Trojan so bad. So
Trojans well represented in this room and in this finalist group.
Definitely.
You, Tilly Kearns, Emily Osmus, Mihailo heading to USC next year. What is it about that program that creates or helps to create athletes of this caliber?
I think it's just the community that you're in. You hear the Trojan family all the time, but it is so real. It's just a supportive and nurturing community. I think that everyone there just wants to help, and then when you're an alumni, like every alumni wants to help as well. So I think it's just a great community to be a part of.
Here we're getting video bombed here by some Max Miller fans in the background. But Max, congrats on being here. Good luck tonight and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
All right, Max Miller from USC. We'll take a timeout and come back with more here from San Francisco. You're watching the Peter J. Cutino Awards live on Overnight.
Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more.
It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. And then if you just kind of close your jacket around that, well. Let's ask you about Pacific, that experience. Obviously moving on to SC next year, excited about that. Are you doing any national team stuff?
No.
Okay, got it. More than just a game. All right, Jake, whenever you're ready. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. And we're keeping it rolling here inside the Olympic Club, the main dining room, talking with another one of our finalists here from University of the Pacific, Mihailo Vukusic. Mihailo, thanks for stopping by.
Of course, thank you for having me.
WCC Player of the Year, excellent run at Pacific. What does this honor mean to you as you kind of cap that part of your water polo career?
I mean, it means a lot. I don't really try to pay attention a lot to individual accomplishments, but to put UOP on the map, and have UOP up there with these other big schools, that means a lot. So it's pretty cool to be up there and represent Stockton like that.
Sure. Balasher Day in the house here, so Pacific well rep from some previous winners. James Graham here as well. He's so often built these squads that have been able to go up against the quote-unquote Big Four. What was special about this year's team? I know you didn't make the NCAAs and you wanted to, but what made this year's team one that you'll always remember?
So we had a group of guys, we had an old group of guys, so we've been together for a couple of years. And we had this bond, like a real friendship, it's a family, and I feel like that was the most special part about it, because we are all like brothers, so we play for each other, we die for each other, so I think that was the most special thing about the team for sure.
How do you describe the energy in Stockton? When I would go to a Pacific home game, the fans, the way that the people turned out for water polo there, it might not be the biggest pool, and it maybe is not the biggest city, but there is a passion about water polo there that is different than other places.
Yeah. Our fans are probably the best in the country, I want to say. We have the best program on campus, and in Stockton everyone supports Pacific, especially the water polo team. But the fans get rowdy, and we appreciate it. So it's like it's our 8th man in the pool, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something special.
So you look back at this past season, the stars kind of lined up. You had this great regular season. You're hosting the conference tourney. If you think back to that championship tourney, I was there for those games. It just seemed like you got caught on the most unlucky day of your lives. Shots that I've seen you make a million times didn't go in. Kind of a weird day. Months later, how do you kind of process what happened in that WCC final?
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, it's sport. You have one bad day, unlucky, and you can't do much about it. You just have to move on, keep going, and it is what it is.
Now, one of the big pieces of news is that you are moving on from Pacific to USC. I think sometimes people hear that, and there's a lot of transferring in college sports, and people think, oh man, Pacific lost a guy. But you talk to James Graham, he knows this was always part of the plan, right? You had wanted to go somewhere else, pursue a different degree. So a lot of love and appreciation from UOP for you, and then a new adventure going to USC. Why USC, and what has you excited about going there?
I mean, USC, first of all, it's a lot of Balkan people over there.
Sure.
Yeah, one of my really good friends, Stefan Brankovic, is over there. He was a big part of my decision. But I like the program. I like the idea, the plan that they told me. And it's one of the biggest programs in the country for water polo especially. And I feel like I have a big chance over there to do something big and help them out win the championship. So yeah, I feel like it was a good move, but we'll see.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to me. You don't know how it'll play out, but it might be a situation where they don't need you to score 70 or 80 goals. Maybe your best role is 40 or 50. I have no idea. How do you adjust your role to fit into what they need?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't have to be the leading scorer. I don't have to be the main weapon on offense. As long as we win, I can score 0 goals. I really don't care. A W is a W. So we'll see. I'll have some goals up there for sure. But
I don't think you're gonna be held scoreless. So
yeah, probably not. But whatever the coach says, what my role is, I'm gonna respect it, and as long as we get the win, I'm satisfied with that.
We don't know who's going to win this award yet. Have you thought about what it would mean if you did win, or why it's special to be here, to be nominated?
Yeah, I mean, it's a special thing for sure. You know, this is a big event. You know, I want to thank the Olympic Club and, you know, the Cutino family. It would mean a lot, but not personally for me, because I really, you know, when I say I don't care about individual accomplishments, I really mean it.
Yeah.
But to be able, you know, to be in the position to put UOP, you know, out here with these big schools, for me, that's a big thing. And that would feel special, you know, if that's the case. You know, to have a UOP player up there, you know, the best in the country, I feel like, you know, that would be a special thing. So I'll be proud of that for sure.
One more year at USC, but you grew up in Europe, obviously, where club water polo is huge. Is that something you'd like to get into after college, to go play club water polo back home, somewhere else? What are your thoughts for after USC?
I haven't been thinking about that that much, but you know, why not? If an opportunity presents itself to play, you know, pro, maybe some Champions League and stuff like that, why not? You know, I would play water polo until I can, you know, until my body shuts down. But we'll see. I have a year at USC, and then after that, you know, maybe Australia, maybe something like that will happen. I don't know, but we'll see. There's some time to think about it.
You know, at the USA Water Polo Masters National Championship, there is a 70-plus division, so you don't ever have to stop playing.
Okay, we'll see.
50 more years at least. Milo, thanks for being here. Congrats on the finalist honors.
Thank you.
And best of luck with the men of Troy next year.
Thank you so much.
All right, Milo Vukovic will take another timeout. We'll come back with more from San Francisco. It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide, and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more. Welcome back. Our dinner continues behind us. We're not eating. We're focused on you, the viewer at home. We continue to provide you live interviews throughout the night, all leading up to the presentation of who will win the Cutino Awards. Now, 6 finalists, 3 men, 3 women, 5 are in the room here tonight. 1 could not be here. National team duties so often call for the most elite athletes in the NCAA system. And that is the same story for Australian star Tilly Kern. She was part of a silver medal effort for Team Australia in Paris last summer. She got to finish up at USC, but then it was right back to Sydney and off to training camp. We caught up with her earlier this week in between practices to talk about her career at USC, what's next with Australia, and what a Cutino Award honor would mean. And now we welcome in one of the finalists, an Olympian, All-American, all-around good person, Tilly Kearns, joining us here in the middle of training camp with Team Australia. Tilly, how are you?
I'm good. I'm bummed I can't be there at the event, but I'm glad I could make it there in some capacity, even if it's on Zoom.
Yeah, all good. We know the demands of the national team are calling. You did not have much time to kind of relax. Just take us through the last 3 weeks here. We're talking Tuesday night U.S. time here, the Cutino Awards. Obviously, you're all watching this now on a Saturday night. But from the season ends to graduation and all that fun stuff, and then right into camp, it seems like it's been a blur for you for the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I feel like the last 7 years have kind of been a blur. No time to even breathe, but it was good. I had maybe a week to pack up all my things. I have so much stuff in the US that I had to somehow bring back to Sydney. Cost a bomb in extra baggage at the airport, but saying all my goodbyes and coming back home, I had 2 days in Sydney to be with my family, and then straight up, we're in Queensland now with a big extended squad, which will get cut in a few days, and then straight to the World Champs team. So yeah, it's go, 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 but there hasn't been any time to dwell on the sad goodbyes and things like that back in LA. So it's been good.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that and kind of the challenge it is to take that next step, right, and move on from college. Is it almost easier that you're just kind of thrown back into the national team? You didn't have time to sit around at home and think about missing people, that sort of thing?
Yeah, there's definitely like a 16-hour flight home. That was my space to miss everyone. I got all my tears out on the plane, but yeah, jump straight back into it. You can't really dwell too much on it. But I think I am lucky that I had something to go straight into. I know a lot of girls graduate and they have to try find jobs straight away, and it's a big question of what's next. But what's next was all planned out for me. I didn't get much of a say in the matter, and there's good things to that, and there's some bad things, but I am very grateful that I'm busy.
There's so many things to talk with you about. You've had such a great run here, not just at USC, but of course with Team Australia. I guess let's start first with this last season for USC. The first thing, you didn't have to come back, right? And from the water polo end of things, right? You had a good run there. There are many athletes that have the demands from the international side that say, you know what, this is a lot, right? And maybe I'll just stay home. What drew you back for one more run with the women of Troy?
Yeah, I'm not someone to go half-assed at something. If I committed to it, I'm keen to get the job done. I only had a semester left of my degree, so first and foremost, I was just excited to get that degree finally after so long. But the girls brought me back. USC is just such a great school. It's such a great environment, and it's an environment of excellence, and everything's right there for me. So it's not like I go over and life's really hard. It's a really smooth transition, and I'm spoiled at USC and I love it. So it was an easy decision. I heard a lot of rumbling being like, is she going to come back or is she not? But I kind of always was planning on it. So it was a big question on everyone else's minds, but I didn't really think too much about it. And of course, just all the people that I love in the US. Yeah, it's easy to go back and spend some more time with them where I can.
You're not alone in this sense of athletes that have played at the elite international level. They take time off of school, they come back, they go back, they come back. How challenging was it, or maybe not at all, to kind of get right back into the flow of things with USC coming off the Olympics?
I think the flow of things was easy to adjust to because I've been there for so long. I very much know the lay of the land and I know how everything operates. Similar style. It's actually the same style of play from when I started back in 2019. So I could fit back into that part pretty easily. It's just more about meeting all the new girls and understanding them and helping them adjust to having me back in the pool and vice versa. So it was easy, but I stepped in with a whole new role and a lot of my best, closest friends had all graduated. So it was meeting kind of a new cohort of girls, which was exciting for me. It kept me busy and kept my brain kind of activated that I had to come into this new role with all these new girls. I think I did a good job. They taught me a lot about just me as a person, being a leader, being a good leader, kind of leading with empathy. And then I think in return, I could share some of my experience with them and teach them stuff in and out of the pool as well.
That NCAA championship tournament in Indianapolis, obviously it doesn't end the way I imagined you would have dreamt. It would have, of course, been a pretty storybook type of way to go out, right? So I know that's on your mind, but the range of emotions or just excitement from that semifinal where you all put together this amazing rally. I mean, being at that game and thinking, man, I don't know, USC's in a tough spot right here, down.
Mm.
Tell me first about that game. What was it about the group, and you played a huge role to rip off 7 unanswered goals against UCLA? Does not happen very often. What was it about the team that allowed you to make that push and come all the way back and win the semifinal?
Yeah, it's funny because you say seven unanswered goals. It doesn't happen often, but UCLA did that to us 2 weeks earlier when we lost to them. So I don't know. I think that loss we had so much to learn from a bit earlier in the season, and we did grow from that. And we had a lot of open and honest conversations as a team about what went wrong there and how to come back if that ever happens again. And I think in that game, we all just felt really calm. And I personally didn't think like losing that game wasn't really an option for me. So I think personally, I snapped into another zone where I was just like, okay, this isn't happening again. And we went on the roll and flipped it the reverse where they couldn't really stop our run. That's just exciting in those games. You just look to the person next to you and you're smiling ear to ear and it just becomes a fun game. But yeah, those games don't happen a lot where it's quite a comfortable win, as we know from the next day. But yeah, I just think we had fun with it.
And then in that final, if you think back on that, where did it not go right for you all? Obviously, Stanford's a super talented team, but if there's something you could have adjusted in that game, what would it be?
I think about this a lot, probably more than what's healthy, but there are a million things I would have done differently. I think taking a step back and understanding what wasn't working in that second half. The first half was great. We were doing everything that we wanted to do, but Stanford adjusted in the second half and we didn't. So I would, at that halftime break, which is 10 minutes, it's kind of tough for everyone because you go the whole season not having a halftime break that long. And then in the final game, the only game of the season where it's a 10-minute halftime, I think different teams go into that with different strategies. Ours, we did some sprints and we kind of physically got in the zone, but maybe we didn't assess what was working, what wasn't working. And I think that was probably the perfect opportunity where I personally could have stepped back and have been like, okay, they're going to adjust, so we need to adjust as well, instead of just expecting it to keep going the same way that it was. So I think I would have just started the quarter going really wide with everyone and just playing really simple and then kind of adjusting to see what they do. But yeah, Stanford, they're so talented and they turned it on in that second half and we couldn't match it. So
We should probably encourage teams to have like a 10-minute halftime at some point during the season just to test that out, right? Maybe in like one of your regular season games that might be useful just to kind of get in that mind frame. Because you're right, it is a total departure from what's normal. Despite the ending, you still honored, right, as a Cutino Award finalist. You know the history of this award. What does it mean? And so often these awards reflect the team as well. But for you personally, what does it mean to be a finalist for the Cutino Award?
I'm of course honored, and I'm very grateful. This is my third nomination, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, it's definitely an honor. But for me, it doesn't reflect the season as a whole. There are so many talented players in the NCAA, and I'm honored to be top 3 this year. But yeah, I think I would give this up in a heartbeat to have a national championship ring, which unfortunately I don't, but that's just the way that my college career went and this season went. But we had such a strong team the whole season and we just let it go at that last game at the end. But the fact that Emily's in here as well, it's so exciting to have 2 Trojans in the mix. So I love that for us and for our program. Yeah, it's definitely an honor, but it's not the be all and end all. That I do wish I was there to celebrate with everyone as well, even just making it to the top 3.
You mentioned Emily Osmus. You two were an amazing 1-2 punch. What impressed you about her? You obviously knew of her from an international sense, maybe from afar, but to be her teammate, what did you learn about her over this past season?
I saw her undying commitment to win. She is fiery and will do anything for a win and anything to come out on top of, especially one-on-one battles. So I learnt from her. I learnt from her grit and just how hard she works from the moment that you transition from defense to offense. She's off and she's creating stuff, which is really cool. Um, yeah, it's also just great to have someone on the perimeter who can control it and who can see where the ball needs to go and see things unfolding, but also be the person to make things happen in the pool. So I definitely learned a lot from her. And I think it's vice versa as well. We just bounce really well off each other.
What's that process like to go from being competitors at the Olympic Games in the highest stakes to then being college teammates, especially when you didn't have that experience with her before Paris?
Yeah, well, we went into Paris knowing that we were going to be teammates, and I was always watching from afar, and we'd walk past each other on the pool deck and say our hellos, and I was always really excited to play her. So when USA, when it wasn't against us, I was rooting for her for sure, but then when you get into a game against another national team like that, it's kind of you just get in and you do your work, and you can be friends after. So I mean, I was proud of her watching her score goals for the US team, and then in that semi-final, all that kind of goes out the window just momentarily, and then you can bring it back after the game. But yeah, it's exciting watching her do her thing for another big team, and we'll be back there with hopefully a few extra Trojans at World Champs this year.
That result in Paris, again, it's one step from where you wanted it to be, but big picture for Team Australia to get the program back to, I think, where a lot of people know it can be. And you look back at the history, right? One of the legendary programs in women's water polo. How important was that just for all of Australia to have that result in Paris?
Yeah, it was instrumental in everything. It's like kickstarted our whole program again. It's kickstarted a lot of excitement from juniors who now are just desperate to be part of the Stingers, and I think that was lacking for a lot of years there. I always joked that my career, both as a Trojan, losing the 4 national championships, but also in the Australian team, I joined when we were at the peak, and then once I joined the team and a bunch of the older girls retired, we stopped winning all those medals. So I was kind of the unlucky charm for a lot of programs. But Paris, that whole lead up, we got a new coach 6 months out from the Olympics, and she just totally turned everything around for us. She instilled a lot of trust and belief, and mostly a lot of joy and excitement back into water polo for a lot of us. I think there were a bunch of girls that weren't sure if they were going to keep playing after the Olympics because we I don't know, we weren't just enjoying it as much, but Beck, our coach now, has just totally changed that around, and pretty much every player has come back for the next cycle. And she's just an incredible coach that has taught me so much in a short amount of time. But a lot of our juniors as well, you can just see the whole of Water Polo Australia is now lifting up. And I think it started with the 6 months before the Olympics, and then to get that result as well, it's just like something even bigger to strive for.
Well, when you're being led by someone who wore the same suit and same cap, how does that change things?
Yeah, it's cool. She's got the experience, and I think the thing that I love about her is just ego aside, she knows what it takes, and she was an incredible Beck Rippon. She was an incredible player when she was playing for the Stingers, and she went through a bunch of rough coaches as well herself. So she kind of has taken the good and bad from each coach and has created this little baby, which is now our program of being the Aussie Stingers. Um, and she's just like she has fun with it. So we're working so hard day in and day out, but we're also having fun with her as well. She's like part of the team. So it's just a whole different kind of environment to what I'm used to, and I love it.
The next Olympic journey just starting, right? This is the beginning of the new quad. I'm sure you've had the daydream about a return to Los Angeles and that taking that next step. How do you kind of keep that the main thing, but also not look too far ahead at 2028?
Yeah, we're really good at that as a team, and I think that showed in the Olympics. We went into 3 penalty shootouts in the Olympic Games out of 7 games, and we won every one of them. And I think that's a testament to us being able to stay in the moment. And that doesn't just happen. Like we worked on that day in and day out, practicing staying in the moment. We have so many psych meetings. I literally just came from one with our whole team where we sit and we talk about these things. And it's just like training your body, but it's training your mind for moments like that. And we've come really good at it. And just because the Olympics are over doesn't mean we stop. So even still, we're working on staying in the moment. And so right now our goal is World Championships, and we're not really looking beyond that yet. And then people, especially in Australia, most of us go overseas to Europe or to America. So that's later. That's to think about after World Champs, and then we just keep crossing the bridges when we get there. But I think a strength of our team is being able to stay in the moment.
Once again, thanks to Tilly Kearns for spending some time with us. If you want to see that entire interview, it's a really good chat with Tilly. It's on this past week's episode of The Counterattack, available now on demand and overnight. We keep it going here back in the room, joined by the national champ, Ryan Nuschel, fresh off an NCAA title. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you?
Doing okay. Good to have you here. What a run at Stanford for you. It is unprecedented. You're the first to win 4 NCAA titles. Did you know that going into the year when someone says to you, because there's not many first left at Stanford. So when you make one of those in 2025, it's news.
Yeah, it was. I think it's on your mind. People plant that idea in your mind, but I will shout out one of my coaches, Kyle Utsumi, my sophomore year. We won in Michigan, and that was incredible. The end of Mackenzie Fisher's long run, incredible Stanford women's water polo player, and I was in the water celebrating. We'd come off this training from Tokyo, and he said, Ryan, I think you can do it. I think you can win 4 national championships. And I was like, Kyle, I'm just going to enjoy this moment right now, but thank you.
Yeah.
And I think as I got into this year, I thought, wow, this is a possibility. But I think when you're playing the game, you're locked into what's happening in front of you. You're the moment, the game you're playing, and then all of a sudden you're in May and you are playing for a national championship. So I would say it's in the back of your mind, but I think it was in the back of a lot of other people's minds, and more of mine was, hey, let's win this game right now. Let's win this tournament. Let's keep going until May.
We talked after the final in Indianapolis, and we talked a bit about your journey to come back to college water polo and all the emotions that went with it. That was about 2 minutes after you got out of the pool. So now you've had a couple of weeks to kind of think about Indy. How have you kind of processed the result and what that did for you and your love for the game?
Yeah, I don't know how eloquently I said it 2 minutes after the game, but having reflected on it a little longer, it was such a joy to play that game. And I think looking back, it's always this way with final games. It's not as pretty as you think it's going to be, or you miss that pass, that shot. It doesn't go the way you want it to go all the time, but you're with those people you worked with for a whole year, whole 4 years in the Olympics or anything like that. And I look back on those moments and watching my teammates smile and the connecting moments we had in that game. Like even the end when we had practiced for months keeping the ball away at the end of the game if we're tied or up and not giving it to the other team, and watching us execute this little thing made me really happy because I thought, all this work we put in, we did it together and it got us to this end result, and that was just such a beautiful team unified effort to be a part of. And I'm so grateful to have been a part of this wonderful program that's had so many incredible players be a part of it.
Quite a few of them in the room, Mackenzie Fisher
Yes,
here amongst others.
yes.
You are a talented offensive player, but at a place like Stanford, and this happens to so many players, yourself, your sisters, Maggie Steffens, you don't have to score 85 or 90 goals. But sometimes people associate that with being a star, and that can be one piece of it. You're capable of doing it. How do you fit into the role that they need you to do, knowing you maybe could add more in this column or add more in that column, but this is what the team needs of you?
I think every team is different. And so coming into this team, when you're in a really heated game with really talented players and so many great teams, but in the final we face a USC, someone like Emily Osmus is really difficult, is guarding me, is taking me away out of some offensive plays, and it comes down to every single player on your team. And so most of that year, maybe I could take more shots, or Jewel or Jenna or any one of the Olympians on that team could have taken more shots, but in the end it's making the right plays and putting people like Serena Brown and Juliette Jollouin in that final, giving them the confidence and the space to execute. That's what's leading us to that victory, and that's why I'm so happy watching that back is, hey, they had the space and the courage and the confidence to step in there and put some huge goals away for us, and that's how you win championships for sure. I look back on all of them and I think, who cares who scores? You don't look back on that in 20 years. You look back on that feeling of winning together. And I think that's what made this such a special year for me, and a special game was the teamwork there.
Of the four, is there one that stands out in a certain way more to you than another?
I would say they all have their special moments. I think my freshman year, that's your first time at anything, right?
Sure.
So you're a little stunned. I think my freshman year I thought, wow, I didn't even think this was possible. So just this incredible feeling. And so in that way, your first time doing anything is really sweet. It's really awesome. But every year had its lows and highs and its triumphs and its losses. And this season was the same. It's always good to end on a win, you know?
Sure.
That's wonderful.
We talked to Emily Osmus earlier. Like you, right back into it. You were training this morning. You fly up here.
Yeah. We trained together. We flew together this morning. Yes.
A full team experience. Now looking back to Team USA and kind of turning the page from Paris, looking towards LA. What's your mindset going into this quad? How do you personally try to make sure this one's different than the last one?
I would say having that hunger. I think this program has had such a successful run in the past and incredible players, and with that comes a lot of pressure and fear of losing. And I think going into this summer and looking forward, I want that fear to dissipate, and it's more, hey, let's go out there and win a game. Let's go out there and fight. Like, we don't need to be afraid of losing something or of what could happen if this doesn't go well. Let's just play what's in front of us and let's be aggressive. And we obviously this summer are going to be missing a lot of really big players, and I think this is an opportunity for younger players in this program like Emily and, you know, like myself even. I'm still young, I think. And
you are officially young.
Yes, I am. So to step in and just help guide this team, this next generation, and continue to push that level of play, because such a high standard was set, and we need to continue to push to that and show the world what we can do, and hopefully get back to the podium. We'll see. Just keep working.
I want to ask you about being initial, and this is an easier question to ask you because you've already accomplished a lot. I have to imagine there was a healthy amount of pressure to be great at water polo when your sisters are Kylie and Jamie. How do you handle that and find a way to work with it and not let it swallow you up?
I think since a young age, you know, I've said this before, we're all attackers on paper. We all went to Stanford. We all joined the national team and went to an Olympics. So you could look at that and say we're all the same, but we're different players. And I think I wasn't the most beautiful, still am not the most beautiful player. If you look back at all my water polo photos, I have a double chin, or, you know, I'm not very high out of the water.
It's very hard to get a good action shot for water polo.
It is, but it's really hard to get one of me. So I think I used to, when I was younger, think, you know, oh man, I want to hold the ball like Kylie, and I want to get out and leg out to my knees and do all these things, but you kind of have to own what you have, you know? You go to war with what you have. I was like, well, I'm 5'6", this is what I have, but I don't give up, and I work on people, and I grind, and I work hard, and this is the brand that I'm bringing, and I'm going to try and get better. I'm going to bring these skills and learn from players like Kylie who can help me, but I got to be me at the end of the day, and that's the most key thing. And I think just realizing, okay, hey, maybe I won't do what they'll do, maybe it won't work out for me, but I've got to be me through and through and be what I value and work hard and never give up. And that's sort of the way I've approached the game. It doesn't always end in a win, sometimes it does, but I think that's what's most important, and that's what makes me a neutral and them a neutral, is we have those values together, and it may look different, but it's shared in that way.
There's a great article that you were the focus of from GoStanford.com, and my favorite part of it, hands down, is the description of you and your three sisters, and John Tanner gives his description, vintage JT, right? Very cerebral, descriptive, and then your mom gives a breakdown, and it's just like cut to the core of like everyone's like true instinct. Did that resonate with you, those descriptions?
100%. Yeah. I was like, yes, I would be on the front line, pointing out, probably tackling people. That makes complete sense to me, and I've embraced that. And I think, you gotta enjoy what you do, whether you're beautiful or not. I mean, look at, football players, offensive linemen. I'm sure they don't love watching themselves on camera all the time, but they're holding the line for an offense, and I've always kind of found myself to be more of a brutalizing player, a dirty work kind of player, and sometimes there's victory in that and glory in that. You have your game where you score 5 goals, but sometimes you're just pushing the line, and that, for me, I don't care. I just want to win, and that's always how it's been.
I think of what you're describing as your game as ugly or not pretty, a lot of people would sign for that. Ryan Nuschel, thanks for joining us here. Good luck tonight, and I think we're going to pass it off to our man Chris Storst at the podium.
Thank you. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right.
Hey, Laura, should we sing to him? Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Quinn Woodhead's birthday tonight. Let's join everybody in Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Quinn. Happy birthday. Okay, we got the high sign from Greg Meskel says we can keep going. There are a couple of seats empty over here. What did they like? Cash in early? Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Happy birthday, Quinn. Any other birthdays we need to celebrate while we're here? We're so far off script, ladies and gentlemen. We want to... Really? I don't want to ask what number, but we just sang for... I hope to God your name's Quinn. We just sang for you. Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have the privilege of introducing tonight's keynote speaker, Dylan Woodhead. Apparently he and Quinn are related somehow. Dylan graduated from Stanford in 2019, got his master's in 2022. He's an NCAA champion, a bronze medalist at the Olympic Games. He's a gold medalist at the 2023 Pan American Games and plays for a Greek team with a name that I can't pronounce. So let's just not even... But I've watched this gentleman play for a number of years, watched his development. He is considered one of the best 2-meter defenders in the world, which, as for someone such as myself, as a goalkeeper, one of our best friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Woodhead.
Thanks, Ella, for stealing my thunder, but happy birthday, Quinn. It truly is an honor for me to be here. Just looking at the Peter J. Cutino card and seeing the past speakers, I'm impressed to have been considered, let alone been able to speak, so I hope I don't mess it up for my mom's sake. But I am thankful you all are here tonight. I want to thank the water polo community for coming out and supporting these incredible nominees. I do want to thank USA Water Polo for streaming this event and allowing the rest of the water polo fans around the country to enjoy. I do want to thank the Cutino family who can't be here tonight, but their continued support of US Water Polo here, we're really grateful for, so thank you to them. And lastly, I do want to thank the Olympic Club. I think, in my opinion, water polo isn't a sport that is super well documented. And I say that having been struggling to find clips on YouTube of old games and players. But I really think this lack of documentation increases the value of the stories about water polo that are told. I think they serve an important role to share the history of our sport, pass on traditions, and inspire future athletes. So I really want to thank the Olympic Club for facilitating this event and creating an opportunity for these stories and this history to be shared. And I know when I was a very lucky high school kid attending this event, I was awestruck by the impressive athletes, the grainy but epic Peter J. Cutino highlight video. Hopefully we'll have that later. And frankly, the most memorable was the infectious smile of Mr. Peter Conti. So hopefully we'll see that later tonight. So thank you to the O Club, Olympic Club, and the storytellers of our sport. Everyone give it up for them. Thank you. I am a stats nerd, so I have a couple stats to share. Since 2000, there have been 16 men and 20 women who have won this award. 13 of those men and all 20 of those women were at the time, had been, or eventually became Olympians. And those same athletes won a combined 35 Olympic medals. There are countless more nominees who went on to become Olympians and medal winners, but all have gone on to make big impacts in the sport of water polo in the US and around the world. And this year specifically, the NCAA is more talented and drew from a bigger player pool than ever before. And this made both men's and women's championships one of the most competitive that I've ever seen. And when I say seen, I mean up in my apartment at 2 a.m. in Greece, watching my sister rip a backhand. But this competitiveness really makes what you athletes have achieved all the more impressive. You have risen to the top of an extremely difficult sport. Water polo attracts a certain type of person with a mix of talent, intelligence, determination, camaraderie, and just enough crazy to keep us involved. But I think this crazy toughness and difficulty is also something unique about our sport and something that brings our athletes together. Like many of you, I'm sure, some of the strongest relationships in my life are ones I've made with athletes in the pool who have sacrificed comfort for growth alongside me. Those are special relationships that are built despite differences in culture, personality, and ones that can withstand the test of time. But more than these individual relationships with teammates, I think there's a mutual respect between water polo athletes. I think we, all of us here, know how hard this sport is, and we know how impressive it is for you nominees to be sitting here tonight. I do want to highlight that what we don't know is what it took for you individually to be here. Really, only you, these incredible 6 nominees, can understand the extent of the sacrifice you have made in the pursuit of your personal growth. The time and effort spent at practices, thinking about water polo, watching film, training on your own, discussing tactics, setting goals, recovering your body, practicing mindfulness, and even the many things you give up because of this sport. These are all sacrifices that only you can sum to a whole. And I personally want to thank you for this momentous effort. The sacrifice you've made is a gift to our sport, and you athletes are a gift to our sport. And for that, we're so lucky to watch you compete. All right, let me get this. So when Colin generously asked me to speak here tonight, I was pretty sure his line of thinking wasn't, let's let the guy who's spoken Greek for 9 months give a big speech for everybody. But I think it had something to do with my gracious ability to have been part of the Olympic Club for a long time, and this bronze medal we brought home this summer. I was really lucky to have some incredible life lessons and amazing moments. I spoke and learned from great athletes at opening ceremonies, and one of my favorite moments was watching my Laker fan teammates, Marko Vavgic and Hans Staub, as they found themselves on the right side of a vintage Steph Curry fourth quarter. I want to talk a little bit about one of the many takeaways I had from the Olympic Games and how it connects back to something I've learned here and something that Mr. Cutino and our nominees exemplify. As I reflected post-tournament, I thought a lot about the delicate nature of our result. You know, in group play, we were 1 loss away from not passing. In our quarterfinal game, we were 1 game-tying goal or penalty shootout loss away from playing for 5th. And in our bronze medal match, we were the same. 1 game-tying goal, 1 penalty shootout away from going home 4th and empty-handed. I thought a lot about the many things out of my control and out of my team's control in the sport of water polo. the way the ball bounces off the post or the game is refereed, your sleep the night before, the food they served that day, or even the way the ball skips on the water. This really made me question when games, tournaments, and dreams hang in the balance, and outcomes can be influenced by things outside of your control, what should I be focused on and what really matters? I would say winning a medal definitely matters, and results matter, but there's also much more. And to answer this question, I found myself falling back to a mantra I learned here at the Olympic Club a long time ago. I learned it actually at a super skills basketball camp when I was 9 years old in the Sky Gym, looking like I was perpetually stumbling around as I ran around the basketball court. And I recently connected with the coach who led that basketball camp, and he kindly shared with me a passage. So stick with me as I read this. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude and effort in life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It's more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, and especially than what others think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home, a player, a team. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we'll embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. The only thing we can do is play on the two strings we have, and that is our attitude and our effort. And now these two controllables have stuck with me for most of my life. And to me, attitude is how you treat people, how you communicate with teammates, how you address problems, and respond to events, especially the negative ones. Your self-talk, your mindset towards improvement, these are all things that encompass your attitude. And to me, effort is your capacity to work, the focus you have, and your persistence both physically and mentally. Effort is a choice. Though sport naturally measures success by performance and results, I found this measure to be much more meaningful, consistently impactful, and independent of things you can't control. And attitude and effort also seem to have been something that Mr. Cutino recognized the importance of as well. I did not know him personally, but through the beautiful anecdotes and the history shared at this event in past years, I feel like I have a better understanding about the things that mattered to him. His infamous swim sets and his belief that effort builds character highlighted his values of commitment and discipline, and his larger-than-life personality, complemented by the intimacy he showed in personal letters, private comments, and his relationship with his players, emphasized his focus on people. These nominees are undoubtedly great examples of athletes that bring a great attitude and a great effort to everything they do. And I want to congratulate you athletes again. I'm grateful to have had the honor to share with you all tonight, and I wish you all a great rest of your night. So thank you very much.
I don't know about you guys, I'm ready to play again. Dylan, that was wonderful. Thank you very much. Heartfelt and perfectly appropriate for this team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, apparently we're handing out awards tonight. Is that the case? For the reason we're all here, the presentation of the Peter J. Cutino Award, I want to bring up a man who claims he was the single best water polo player in all of UC Berkeley water polo history, man or woman. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Conti.
Well, that's quite an introduction. Thank you. And of course not true, but you know, it's Mr. Dorst, and he's the reason this thing all works the way it does. And maybe another round of applause for him. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for being here with us at the Olympic Club. This is the 26th annual Peter J. Cutino Award. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, and we're here at the Olympic Club, we're so proud and thankful that you guys all came back again to be here. You got a sitter, you did a little shower and shave, well, not Adam, but you know, yeah. Look, sorry. But you're sitting here with former rivals, you're sitting here with current teammates, you're sitting here with Olympians, you're sitting here with boards of directors here at the Olympic Club. There's water polo greats, there's professional greats, there's lyrical greats here in the audience. It's quite the auspicious occasion, and it... Look, I'm making the man laugh. This is a good thing. We're off to a good start. But tonight we're here for something bigger than any one moment. Tonight is the night that we celebrate the very best of collegiate water polo. We honor those who represent the pinnacle of our sport. We do so in the name of one of the most legendary coaches of all time, Mr. Peter J. Cutino. He was the former head coach at UC Berkeley, and he's a proud member here at the Olympic Club. So tonight we gather to celebrate the sport itself because water polo is more than scores and titles. It's a lot about community. It's been spoken of a bunch here tonight. It's really true. It's about legacy, it's about growth. It's about transforming players into mentors, teammates into lifelong friends. It's the moment when a high school athlete gets to meet the hero that they once watched from the bleachers. And everyone here in this room, those watching online, thank you very much for joining us. We hope it feels like a true celebration of excellence. Now, before we go any further, this is unscripted and not in your programs. We have a special award we're about to give out. We have to recognize a special individual who has been here with the award since its inception. He's been a titan in the sport of water polo himself, an advocate for players and coaches, and the voice of this Cutino Award for 26 years. He's a two-time Olympian, having won silver at the 1984 Games. He's an NC2A champion and the most outstanding player in 1976. And he's a Hall of Fame inductee and leader. He does not know he's getting this award tonight. But he's embarrassed me just enough that I made sure that we were going to honor him appropriately. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to bestow the Peter J. Cutino Special Recognition Award for service above and beyond the call of duty to our own Mr. Chris Dorst. Chris, you need to have a picture up here, apparently.
I thought I'd get to talk some more.
That was fun. He gets to embarrass people all night, and then I got to do it for him. This is exactly how this should go. All right, well, the Peter J. Cutino Award, it's right here. You can see it. It was founded here at the Olympic Club in 1999. It was a collaboration between the club's board of directors, many of whom are sitting right over here, including our president, and the water polo program here. It was initiated by Bennett Endart, who's been recognized earlier this evening. And the idea was to establish a signature collective sports award for water polo in the Olympic Club's kind of rich history and involvement in the sport since pretty much the club's inception, made it a perfect fit. It was kind of a natural. And in the words of Mr. Peter J. Uroth, he once called this the Heisman Trophy of water polo. It's pretty fitting. Coach Cutino was a towering figure, literally and figuratively. His influence shaped the lives and careers of countless athletes, and I count myself among them. He threatened my life many times. Now I'm going to refer to my notes here because there's a lot of numbers I'm going to throw at you, and I want to make sure I get them right. He was one of the winningest coaches of all time, and so it bears having some of these things memorialized. Coach Cutino led the UC Berkeley program for 25 years. He served as the head coach of the U.S. Olympic team in 1976. His college team earned 8 national championships, had a record of 519, 1 to 172 in 10. His final squad, his final coaching year as head coach, In 1988, set a school record with 33 wins en route to back-to-back NCAA titles. He coached 68 All-Americans, 6 NCAA Players of the Year, and 5 Olympians. His style was intense and demanding, and filled with a passion of his Sicilian roots. My favorite quote ever, and I say this one every year because I love it that much, is from the current Cal coach, Kirk Everest. He taught us anything worth accomplishing would not come without discomfort, and he was always there to happily administer that discomfort. Coach Cutino believed that adversity builds character, and that true success isn't measured by the accolades alone, but by the strength of a person who earns them. We have a video, and we're going to play it now.
The Olympic Club of San Francisco is one of the oldest athletic clubs in the United States. Founded in 1860, it serves men and women of all ages by enriching their lives through participation in the club's wide range of fitness programs, organized sports, and social activities. At the club, there is a strong tradition of Olympic competition dating back over a century. Since the games of the Third Olympiad, hosted by St. Louis in 1904, Olympic Club members have competed for their home countries, bringing home numerous medals, almost half of them gold. With a long and illustrious history in the sport of water polo, dating back to the turn of the 20th century, the Olympic Club is proud to celebrate the sport of water polo by annually recognizing the female and male collegiate water polo players of the year.
And it's been said, and it's really true, that the greatest names in the history of our sport are here tonight. They truly are. And they are a team, and they are a family, and tonight you join their ranks. You know, in sport is something we take too serious, and other times not serious enough. To me, it seems to reflect a noble and notable sentiment that those that sacrifice the most to achieve a goal are the happiest of people.
Embracing both the sport of water polo and one of its legends, Peter J. Cutino, the Olympic Club formed the Peter J. Cutino Award in 2000, celebrating the very best in collegiate water polo. The namesake of this award is one of the winningest coaches in water polo history, winning 13 U.S. water polo and 8 NCAA championships during his 26-year career as head water polo coach at the University of California at Berkeley. Peter Cutino was named NCAA Coach of the Year 4 times and nurtured 68 NCAA All-Americans, 6 NCAA Players of the Year, and 5 Olympians. As coach for the Olympic Club, Peter Cutino coached over a 12-year span, winning 4 U.S. Open National Championships, 2 World Masters titles, and 10 Masters National Championships. 4 of his players received U.S. National MVP honors, and 8 players would go on to become U.S. Olympians. Respected and admired by his peers for his knowledge of the game and ability to develop, motivate, inspire, and be a role model for his athletes, Peter Cutino was inducted into the USA Water Polo Hall of Fame in 1997 and the Olympic Club Hall of Fame in 2007.
You know, it's true that the problems of victory are more agreeable than those of defeat, but they are no less difficult. Let me explain it to you. You are, tonight, recipients, you are the champions. To be the champion. The champion becomes the mark, the standard to achieve, to beat. The greatest effort is against the champion. Moral victories are gained against the champion. And if the champion perseveres, then the pressures become that much greater. It is a tough, tough road to hoe, but it is as it should be. It is competition, which is the basis of excellence.
Now, the trophy we're going to present here tonight, it was designed by Doug Arth. He's a former All-American and national team player himself, an assistant coach at Cal during part of the Cutino era. It resides year-round in the Hall of Fame room, which is just downstairs. Some of you were there earlier, shooting pool, if I noted correctly. Each year, the winners' names are engraved on the original trophy, and exact replicas are given to each to honor them. Finalists also receive trophies in recognition of their efforts. And make no mistake, every athlete in this room is elite, so we're talking about just an unbelievable cream of the crop situation here. Oversight of the award and the ceremony in the process is managed by a dedicated board of trustees. And I'm going to give a special shout out to Eva and Whitney, who do so much work behind the scenes. They've been honored earlier. And we can clap, please. The board does not influence the vote, and we always like to make sure that that's clear. Our sole mission is to safeguard the integrity of the process. The Cutino Award winners are chosen by their peers. It's the college coaches and former winners themselves who vote on it, making it truly a community-driven award. It's part of the reason we enjoy it so much. I'm going to introduce the current trustees, and if they would stand, if they're here, when I announce your name. Ms. Julia Sesnick. Mr. Chris Lathrop. Ms. Carla Ticini. Mr. Colin Mulcahy. Ms. Gina Casagnola. Mr. Connor Stapleton. The Executive Director of the Cutino Award and the club's Athletic Director, Mr. Nick Lasson. And I'm also involved. All right, this is the big moment. So to help me present the award, I'd like to introduce our presenter for the evening. He's the founding member of Public Enemy. He is a hype man, an iconic persona. He's a reality TV juggernaut sensation. And he is the USA Water Polo official hype man. Ladies and gentlemen, a guest of honor and our presenter tonight, Mr. Flavor Flav. All right. It's a special occasion. All right, we're going to start with the men. This is the moment you guys have been waiting for. We have a video to introduce you all to the nominees.
Part college freshman, part cannon. Olympic bronze medalist Ryder Dodd will bombard your defense in more ways than one. The might of his right arm is overwhelming, and every goal he scores reinforces his downright supremacy. In 2024, Dodd set the single-season MPSF scoring record with 102 goals. You heard that right, 102 goals in only 28 games. He recorded 9 games with 5 or more goals, including a 7-goal effort against the number 8 Cal Bears. He then scored a season-high 8 goals against the 9th-ranked Pepperdine Waves just 6 days later. He led the conference with 134 total points and 46 sprints won. He also notched 32 steals, 11 field blocks, and 30 drawn exclusions. His first season at UCLA culminated with everything a player could want: first-team All-America honors, ACWPC Player of the Year honors, and a national championship. Max Miller wasn't always the main man at USC, but his story is a reminder of what hard work can get you. Each year, he got a little bit better for the men of Troy. Before long, he became one of the most feared centers in the college game. In 2024, he took his game to new heights and etched out a legacy that won't soon be forgotten. USC played 29 games during the fall semester. Miller scored in 27 of them with 15 multiple goal outings. His 54 goals and 56 drawn exclusions propelled his squad throughout the year and well into the postseason. Miller notched 6 goals at the MPSF tournament and 7 more in the NCAA tourney. He ended the 2024 campaign earning all MPSF first team, all NCAA tournament, and first team All-America honors. It is abundantly clear that Mihailo Vukušić was built to score. He was tailor-made to destroy your defense, and he can put the ball wherever he sees fit. In 2024, his athletic prowess was on display. Vukušić led the Pacific Tigers with 63 goals on the year, including 12 hat tricks and a set of 7 goal performances against Wagner and UC Irvine. He also recorded 16 assists for good measure. Vukušić completed the year earning WCC First Team All-Conference, WCC Player of the Year, and First Team All-America honors. Part college freshman, part cannon. Olympic bronze medalist Ryder Dodd will bombard your defense in more ways than one. The might of his right arm is overwhelming, and every goal he scores reinforces his downright supremacy. In 2024, Dodd set the single-season MPSF scoring record with 102 goals. You heard that right.
We wanted to highlight the 102 goals. Look, we're an organization. We have some AV equipment. It's working just fine. We're not Public Enemy. If the gentleman could join us up on stage, please, for the presentation. I have the envelope here. The winner of the 2025 Peter J. Cutino Award is Ryder Dodd.
How's everyone evening? Okay, first off, I wanted to start thanking the other finalists. You guys could be standing up here today and be equally as deserving of this award. I have nothing but respect for you guys. It's a hell of a year playing against you guys. You guys are amazing competitors. Next off, I wanted to thank the Olympic Club, not only for hosting tonight, but for everything you do to support the game of water polo, and for keeping the legacy of Coach Peter J. Cutino alive. A legacy he built both in and out of the water. It's humbling to be a part of and to be a part of something that carries his name. But this honor isn't just mine alone. It belongs to everyone who believed in me, my teammates, my coaches, my family, and the community that helped shape me. You've challenged me, you supported me, and you reminded me over and over that excellence isn't a one-time thing. It's a standard you'd hold every single day. To my teammates, thank you. You pushed me, trusted me, and taught me the value of showing up for something bigger than yourself. The bond that we share is something that makes the grind worth it. This award is just as much yours as it is mine. To Coach Adam, you believed in me from day one. Your honesty, your intensity, and your commitment to build character over anything else is something that has changed my life. I wouldn't be standing here without your guidance and example. The standard you continue to set has given us the opportunity to be so successful. To my Uncle Randy, thank you. Thank you for always being in my corner. Your support has been shown in many ways, and I have a special place for you in my heart. And you've shown up time and time again and done everything to support me. You were always there for me. You keep me grounded and humble me when I need it. The loyalty you give me is very rare, and I wouldn't take it for granted. And then to Brett, thank you for being my constant. You've been there through chaos, through the highs, the lows. You've always been there for me. I remember at the end of my junior year of high school, I was on a tough setback, I would say. I lost in the CIF finals, and I started to question myself if I was capable of doing more. But you assured me that tough times build strength in people, and I will forever live with that. Thank you. And then to my grandparents who couldn't be here tonight, but thank you for being the quiet strength behind me so much. whether it was cheering from afar or cheering in the stands. I was just always believing and supporting me was truly, truly amazing, and I'll always keep that with me, and super happy you're in my corner. To my brother Chase, man, dude, some days, at training, we'd have some fights, some full-on battles. We'd hear about it from Adam, but it was just because we wanted to push each other. It was nothing personal, but it was never not enough for both of us. But seriously, you made me sharper, you made me better. You've always been there. Biggest competitor and the biggest supporter. And I wouldn't be here today without you. And I wouldn't trade any of these moments for anything else. You're my role model. I look up to you. The example that you set is something any younger brother would ever want. You truly are amazing. Love you, bro. And finally, to my parents, mom, dad, thank you for all the sacrifices and commutes, the early morning practices, the encouragement, the patience, and for always believing in me, especially when I didn't believe in myself in certain moments. Everything I've done starts with you. You've given me the opportunity like none other to be the best I can be. One day, I hope I'm just half the parent you guys are. Thank you. Love you guys. Lastly, this award just isn't about stats or championships. It's worth much more than the journey. The people, the growth, I will carry this honor with a full heart and share it with every single person who has helped me along the way. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Gentlemen, if you could, just 1 second. Very nicely done. We have 3 exceptional female nominees as well. We have a quick video about that one.
Do you know the definition of hitting the ground running? Just look at Emily Osmus. The Riverside native took gold at 2 World Championships, scored a trio of goals at the Paris Olympics, and then she began her collegiate career. As a freshman, she was fearless. Osmus capped up for all of the Trojans' 34 games, and she scored in every single one. In 9 of those matches, she found the back of the net 5 or more times. Her offensive prowess allowed her to become the fastest Trojan to reach 100 goals in a single year and claim the single-season scoring record for USC with 114 goals. That's not the only aspect of her game. Osmus tallied 55 assists, 46 steals, and won 28 out of 30 sprints. In 2025, her production on both sides of the pool earned her MPSF Newcomer of the Year, First Team All-MPSF, and First Team All-America honors. Few water polo athletes possess the fire and drive of Tilly Kearns. Her relentless approach to the game allowed Australia to claim silver in Paris and supercharged the USC squad in her return to Los Angeles for one more go. In 2025, the Aussie center lit up the scoreboard. Kearns recorded 100 goals, earned 62 exclusions, and led the MPSF with 48 steals and 20 field blocks. Her efforts were essential to the Trojans' postseason success. Kearns' 5 goals and 6 earned exclusions propelled her team past a tough UCLA squad and into the national championship game. The 2025 campaign added to an already storied collegiate career. Kearns was named to the All-MPSF First Team, NCAA Tournament First Team, and was given First Team All-America honors. She finishes her time in the land of Troy as USC's 3rd-ranked all-time scorer with 262 goals. Ryan Neuschel is the enduring image of dominance, a winner at every level. And across 7 years, she has been a tour de force for the Cardinal. In 2025, Nuschel led Stanford with 20 multi-goal outings and found the back of the net 60 times. She also shared the wealth with 39 assists over the course of the year. Her dominant play continued well into the postseason with 5 goals, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals during Stanford's run to the title for the Paris Olympian. Nuschel completes her collegiate career as the 5th all-time scorer in Cardinal history with 228 goals. She is a 4-time All-MPSF team selection, a 4-time NCAA All-Tournament team member, and Stanford's only 4-time NCAA national champion.
If I could please have the ladies up to the stage. All right. The winner of the Women's 2025 Peter J. Cutino Award, Ryan Nuschel.
Sorry, I'm using technology for my speech. We'll see how that goes for me. One moment. Good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to be standing here tonight. First, I want to thank the Cutino family who couldn't be here, the awards committee, and the Olympic Club for making this evening possible. I come from a water polo family. My uncle, James Nuschel, actually played for Pete Cutino in the 1980s, which is a really interesting history. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. To Flava Flav, the hype man, as always. And really everyone in this room for showing up for this tight-knit water polo community that we all share. And also congratulations to my co-Cutino Award nominees, Emily. We know you will be here time and time again. So I'm not excited to share this night with you. Thank you. And to Tilly. We both started and ended our collegiate careers at the same time, 7 years. She is among one of the fiercest centers in the world and in the game, and she has a medal to prove that. I grew up, for me, water polo is not just a sport. It's a way of life for myself and my family. My dad played water polo at UCSB, and my mom played for the UCSB club water polo team almost 20 years ago, before women's water polo was recognized as an NCAA sport in 2001. So I grew up on pool decks. I celebrated my birthday every December at the Newport Harbor High School picnic tables at the, what is now Bill Barnett Holiday Cup. Each May, I cheered my sisters on in Stanford gear at national championships. I followed them around the globe to support them with Team USA at various world championships and Olympic tournaments. It is because of their example, my sisters Kylie and Jamie, their work ethic, intensity, and leadership, that I'm standing here tonight, the player and person that I am today. My older sister Kylie, a 2-time Cutino Award winner herself, held all her teammates, myself included, to the highest of standards. Kylie makes everyone around her better, and she wins. At my first national team practice when I was 17, and frankly, the worst player in the pool, turning balls over left and right, I threw yet another bad pass to Kylie, and she turned and she looked at me and she said, "Every pass you make in this game sends a message. What is this sending to me right now?" You make this pass on a line to my hand and you get it right. And you get it right for your teammates, not just for you.
quite harsh to hear at 17. But on the car ride home, she told me, Ryan, I speak to you honestly because I want you to get better. I believe that holding you to a lower standard because you are younger or because you are new to this team is a disservice. I believe in you, Ryan. You will be great. Thank you, Kylie and Jamie, for being my role models, for believing in me, for pushing me, and for continuing to support me throughout my entire water polo career. I love you. And thank you to my mother, Kathy Neuschel, and my club coach, Connor Levoff, who coached me since I was 12 years old, for being here tonight. My mom coached me and my sisters, and she taught us how to play the game. She taught us how to play the game the right way. Hard work, selflessness, intensity, and passion. True to my mom's coaching form, she is not here tonight because she is coaching 14 under JO quals. But I hope she is preparing the next generation of Cutino Award winners right now. And I want to thank my Stanford coaches, Susan, JT, Kyle, Kim, Kyle, Olympic Club coach. And for all those who helped me and mentored me along the way through my 7-year journey. Thank you for building a culture that is fiercely competitive and deeply supportive. At Stanford, you are seen for more than you can do in the water. You're seen as a future doctor or a future engineer or an architect, contributing to the world beyond just the pool. It is because of this culture that I grew into a stronger water polo player, a dedicated student, and a better person. Thank you for that. And finally, to my 7 years worth of Stanford teammates, many of whom are in this room right now, and my current teammates, Ella Woodhead and Jenna Flynn. Amazing, incredible women. Thank you for holding me accountable, inspiring me, and for laughing with me through the best and worst of times. This past season was incredible, not only because of the championship, but because of the way that we won, through a concerted team effort. Every single player brought pride and dedication to their role in that season, however big and however small. And that is what builds a championship team. For me, a team win will always mean more than any individual accolade. And that is the culture of Stanford Women's Water Polo and my family. Thank you so much again to the Cutino family, the awards committee, the Olympic Club, and for all of my friends, family, and all of you this evening who came to support me. Let's enjoy the rest of the night.
Don't forget that. Well, folks, I'm fresh out of awards to give out. That was it. I'm going to turn it back over to our esteemed MC and special recognition award winner to close out the ceremony. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Flavor Flav.
Thank you. No doubt.
Man, oh man. I don't know about you, but I was awfully moved by those presentations. You know, it's amazing. We talk about water polo being a family. Apparently for the Neuschels and the Dodds, it literally is a family. Well done, well done, well done. I can only say, though, to everybody scoring 100 goals this season, where the heck were the goalkeepers when this was going on? Come on. Step up the defense a little bit, huh? Congratulations again. Ryder, Max, Mikhailo, thank you guys for being here. Ryan, Emily, when we who love water polo watch you play, it brings us joy. When we watch you interact with your younger teammates, it makes us proud. When we watch you interact with the kids in this room and on the pool deck, that makes the future. Thank you. Thank you for being the folks you are. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends the official program for this evening. Like Ryan said, let's enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you. God bless. Drive home safely.
It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more. It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters. There's no better time to become a water polo referee.
The sport continues to grow nationwide, and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more.
Welcome back here to the Olympic Club. Party still going on behind us, but with the men's Cutino Award winner, Ryder Dodd. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic speech from you. I think the theme of your speech was gratitude. It looked to be a handwritten speech there on some loose leaf paper. As you were putting that together, what was running through your mind?
I think a few quotes that I've kind of lived by is it's not really about the destination, it's the journey, and I think something to go with that is the people you meet along the way. And kind of when I was writing that speech and kind of thinking about how I got here, my experience, it all kind of led back to who got me here and who was involved. So I think just giving back to them is the least I could do. I think this award is as much theirs as it is mine. So it's really incredible to be a part of.
We talked a bit at some point during the season with the way that you all came together as a unit and the way that you immediately found a spot in that UCLA team. As you reflect back on just an epic freshman season, how did you so quickly find your role?
I think it's just how close-knit our group is. We're all family. I mean, coming in freshman year, I didn't spend 6 months with them or a year. It was 2 months and we started season. So I think just everyone being so close and so open and just it was a family. It just made it really easy to kind of find my way in there, and it just made the season that much more enjoyable in a sense. They just helped me kind of figure out a role. Adam did a great job of it. Jason did a great job. Matt, Nico, all of those guys really helped me kind of find my place, and it made it a really enjoyable experience for the first year.
It was interesting, at one point in your speech you talked about kind of having some doubt, and I think people look at your resume over the last 18 months and think, how could this guy have ever doubted anything he ever did with all the things that have gone your way? I think it's a good message for a younger player that's watching or someone that's on the way up. How do you handle the setbacks, and how do you always stay in a position to kind of move forward?
I think obviously you said the success that I've had. It always hasn't been that pretty. Most people only see the good things that happen, but as athletes, you know that there are certain setbacks that you hit that it's really important to find ways around it. So for me, getting burnt out in a sense, not enjoying the sport as much, it really just came with being with my teammates, interacting with them, interacting with other things outside of the pool, but still being engaged in what we're doing. So I think just finding ways to still enjoy the game without actually having to think so much about it is really important, and how I kind of overcame those setbacks. And again, just having close people, close triangle of people to kind of support you is really key to success, in my opinion.
We talked a bit during National League and talked about your schedule then, and it's been just go, right? Olympics, into UCLA, into club polo in the off season. You'll go to Junior Worlds in Croatia, then Singapore. How do you unplug from this so that it doesn't feel like it's draining all of your battery?
It's extremely difficult. When it's go time, and when it's off, it's off. So when I'm not playing water polo and I'm on an off day, it's never thinking about water polo, never really engaging with that side of my life. So I think that's the most important thing. And then just taking advantage of any time you have off, really managing your time and figuring out a schedule that kind of works for you is kind of what I kind of live by. And by doing that, it made water polo so much more enjoyable and long-lasting in a sense like that, where I can feel like I can keep going without actually having that opinion that I need to stop or take a break, in a sense.
And one of the announcements that just came out was that U20 roster. This is a stacked group. This is a fun squad to watch. You guys had a great run at Senior Nationals. There's a lot of potential for this group. What's the excitement around? You know that the U.S. has not traditionally performed well. It was a pipeline squad that got our first pipeline medal at a World Champs. What's the excitement around what this team can do?
I think this is the most talented we've ever been as a team. I think the way that college sports is going is creating a more competitive sport. So by this happening, the players I'm playing with on the junior team have gotten so much better, playing against these foreign kids, international people from Hungary, Serbia, Spain. These kids are really good players, and we're able to play against them on a weekly basis, and it's just made our team so much more skillful, competitive. And looking at that and looking at the names that we have on the team, it's really exciting to see the chances we have against these teams. It's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, we have a good chance, and I think we're all willing to kind of give in to something really special for the group.
And then on the senior side, a lot of guys taking time off this summer, recovering from injury, children, all the great things that come with life, right?
Yeah.
But a chance for you to perhaps play a more assertive role, not just from your stats and your skills, and even as a college freshman to bring some experienced leadership. How do you look at your role this summer on the senior squad as well?
Yeah, since everyone's kind of cycling in, whether you're retiring, injury, just taking time off, I think it creates a new opportunity for everyone. And like a great movie I like to watch is Miracle on Ice, and great opportunity comes with great responsibility. And I think with the team that we have here is good. It's unique. I mean, obviously we're losing some of our best players, but that allows us for people like me, my brother, Dylan, younger guys to kind of step in and take over new roles. And I think we're capable as a team that we're able to kind of persevere the doubt that some people might have. But I think our team is really unique in that sense, and we're really hungry for capitalizing on what we did at the Olympics.
You had some really sentimental remarks for your brother Chase during that speech, and I think you also were kind of like intimating that you guys have had some tough days at the pool too, where you're at odds. When did you kind of get the perspective that there might be a day where, God, I hate this guy, he's driving me nuts, but you're also able to, like, maybe before you fall asleep that night, realize this is making me better?
Definitely. I'm on it. You could speak to Adam for hours about this. There's times in practice where we just literally have to stop. Me and Chase get out of the pool, and it's like, you guys need to take a break. This is getting too much. And just looking at that, like, we both want the best for each other. Like, that is my brother over there. Like, he's not wishing any ill on me. I'm not wishing any ill on him. We're just literally wishing the best for each other. And I think both of that in our perspective is really, truly amazing to see. That we're just so close, and we've shared such a unique experience together, making our bond just so much more powerful and loving in a sense.
Good stuff, Ryder Doc. Congratulations, Cutino Award winner. Busy summer ahead. We're looking forward to seeing you, I think tomorrow, 1 o'clock with Team
1
USA.
o'clock. Yeah,
I'll see you there. Okay.
Yeah.
Ryder Doc joining us here, Cutino Award winner. We'll take a timeout and come back with more.
It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters.
Welcome back here to the Olympic Club. What an amazing night here in San Francisco. Again, a big congratulations to our winners, Ryan Neuschel from Stanford and Ryder Dodd from UCLA. On the opposite ends of the college water polo spectrum, Ryan finishing her 7th year at Stanford, a 4-time NCAA champ. Ryder just starting his journey, freshman campaign, NCAA title, and now a Cutino Award winner. I have a good feeling we'll see him back here in the room next year as well. That is going to do it for us here this evening. Again, a big congrats to all 6 of our finalists. Thank you to them for taking time to talk with us here. Also, our guests tonight, Jamie Davis from USA Water Polo, Flavor Flav, of course, the official hype man, Dylan Woodhead, our keynote speaker, Chris Dorst, Peter Conti, of course, Nick Lusan from the Olympic Club, Whitney Hughes, everyone that made it possible here at the O Club for this annual event. We really, really appreciate it. The men behind the camera, the Mader brothers, shout out to our executive producer, Jake Mader, especially that puts all of this together. I am merely just a talking head that reads what he gives me to read. So Again, big props to those guys. Thanks so much again for joining us. We hope to see you back here next week. Overnight fans, quick turnaround. 1 p.m. Pacific tomorrow at Mount Sac. Make sure you tune in. USA men, ride or die, just saw them. We'll be there taking on Australia, the first of a 3-game set. If you can't watch live and overnight, get your tickets at usawaterpolo.org. Series continues June 11th and June 13th. That's a rematch of the Paris Olympics quarterfinal round. That's all for us this evening from the City by the Bay. Greg Messel saying so long. We'll see you back here next year.
It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters.
There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more.
It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions are made. This is where every moment matters.
There's no better time to become a water polo referee. The sport continues to grow nationwide, and refs are a vital part of that expansion. Join today. Whether you played for years or are new to the sport, all are welcome. Stay active with flexible hours while making extra money with competitive rates nationwide. Build a network of new friends that will last a lifetime, all while making a positive impact on youth sports. Make a difference in water polo. Become a referee today. Visit usawaterpolo.org/referee to learn more.
It's more than just a game. It's the toughest sport in the water. This is where you're tested. This is where champions